Doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
All right. That's cool. So, hey, where do you live?
I live in Ohio.
Oh, close to me.
Yeah, where do you live?
I'm in Toronto.
Okay, nice.
Not far.
Yeah, not too far.
How old are
Cool.
you, Kylie?
22.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, super.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? What's going on with you?
Um, well, a few things really. I am looking to get back into shape and build some strength. I've been feeling pretty weak. And then also I'm looking to shift my diet. I was vegan for about a year and a half or so. Um, and I wasn't very consistent with the ways in which I was eating, and so I started feeling pretty weak, not so great. I went back to eating meat and dairy products for the last 6 months, and I'm feeling super lethargic,
Meh.
nauseous on a daily basis, just a lot of um, not so great symptoms going on. So um, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through right now.
Okay, cool. So then is it when you say you want to get back into shape, is it that you want to lose some weight?
Well, no, I'm pretty thin. I mean, I've gained a little weight around my midsection, but it's not that much. I think it could be cut out pretty quickly. The main thing I'm looking on doing is strength building and even gaining some weight,
Hmm.
muscle mass, because I'm feeling pretty weak. So
Feeling weak.
yeah,
So it's not weight loss.
no, no,
It's
yeah,
just
like,
it's just how you're feeling then.
well, I mean, my body composition isn't where I want it to be. Um, I'd like to work on that a little bit,
So like maybe
but
there's parts of your body that are a little too soft or squishy.
yeah, yeah. Um,
You'd like to tighten them up a bit.
mhm. Yeah, mainly my lower body could use some muscle gain. And then, like I said, the only place I really have fat accumulation is around my midsection. So that's really the only place I find any fat in my entire body. So
And so do you know how much you weigh?
about 135, I think, close to there.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with your weight.
No,
Okay, and how tall are you?
5 foot 2 inches.
Okay, excellent. So, really, it's more about feeling better. Like it's energetic. Like you say you've been a little bit lethargic and you've been, I guess, off track with your exercise, or
Yeah.
you need
Mm.
an exercise routine,
I need a routine in general, really, but
like a
um,
nutrition routine and an exercise routine,
say that again.
like
The phone cut out.
exercise and nutrition routine. Like,
Yeah, yeah, because I've been so back and forth over the last 2 years. I just, there's really no consistency. And like I said, I went back to eating the things that I know that aren't really good for me just because I feel so terrible. I don't know. So I'm very back and forth and just looking for consistency and something that I can um, come back to and believe in. So yeah.
and you've been following natural messages about natural health
Yeah. Yeah,
because most people don't follow natural health.
mhm.
You know that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see that?
Well, for the past 6 months, there's been this form of cognitive dissonance where, like, I know the way I'm eating and treating my body isn't great, but I just feel like such shit that I'm almost not caring in a way, and I'm getting fed up with that. So,
Hmm.
for the most part,
What
yes.
what's your post-secondary education?
My secondary education.
Your post-secondary. What'd you get in university? Did you go to university or college or something?
No, I just re-enrolled this year actually.
So you've
So
you've been working?
yeah, yeah, I do home health care. I take care of an elderly couple here in Huron. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So you
yeah,
do some home health care as your career, as your job right now.
yeah,
And you've been
yeah, and
doing
then
that for a few years?
yeah, about a year or two, a year and a half, not too long. Before that, I was serving, waiting tables, and then
Wow.
um, yeah, and then recently I just got my yoga certification, so I'm looking to use that.
Cool.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So you want to develop that yoga business for yourself?
mm-hmm,
Nice. And obviously, yoga kind of fits in with really the natural foods and natural strength and length in your body, core strength, yoga.
right,
Wonderful. And you roll it all together with a natural, healthy, um, raw food type of lifestyle.
mm-hmm,
Excellent. I think that's a fantastic idea for you, Kylie. And I think if you were to start pursuing that you could grow that business for yourself. That's something that you'd probably be really passionate about, right?
uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
definitely,
Awesome. That's really great. I like the vision you've got in your mind there about how you could marry those two and really become a really an energy type of healer that's
mm-hmm,
teaching people how to obviously move, strengthen, and lengthen their body with yoga or fitness or movement. That's how we
mm-hmm,
strengthen the body physically. So we want to have some sort of daily physical strengthening and lengthening practice like yoga, like fitness, like exercise, something that's picking up our energetic frequency,
mm-hmm,
right? So
right,
physically,
yeah,
physically getting the body breathing more
mm-hmm,
because that, oxygenates the body.
right,
And that's a big aspect of healing the body is having more oxygen in it.
mm-hmm,
That's why um, live raw foods heal the body because they contain oxygen.
right,
They're oxygen rich, they're still alive.
mm-hmm,
It's when we kill the food, when we process the food, when we cook the food, that we take the alkalinity, the oxygen, the enzymes, the energy, the life out of it.
mm-hmm, right,
Cooked and processed foods denature the food, take it away from natural,
yeah,
right? So the natural food, obviously the fruit or the vegetable, it just grows alive in nature naturally.
mm-hmm,
It just grows from the light of the sun.
yeah,
It just captures the energy of the sun. And if we eat it in its natural form, then we're just basically eating the light or eating the energy of the sun that way.
mm-hmm,
That heals us.
yeah,
That's healing. But now, if we take the fruit or vegetable and we process it, make it into a dry grain or break it down into a flour, and then we put it with some other things to make it rise, and then we cook it, we make a bread or we make a rice or we make a pasta or make a potato, right? That's
mm-hmm,
basically some sort of vegetable or a flour or a grain that's been grinded up and processed and then cooked and then prepared so it makes the bread or something which is really yummy. Yes,
mm-hmm,
chips or crackers or something really, really yummy.
yeah,
It's been added with salts and it's been added with flavors and preservatives and additives and things and colors that make it look and smell and taste and mmm.
right, yeah, yeah. See, that's been my struggle too, because in eating those foods, I'm able to um kind of suppress that shitty feeling long enough for it to not matter. But it's just gotten to the point where I am feeling sick on a daily basis, just like nauseous and, like I said, lethargic and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
So this is the thing. If there's something in us, something emotional, that we're upset about, or we're frustrated about, or we're sad about, or we're angry about, there's
Mm-hmm.
some aspect of our life, something that we're bored with or something, then we're going to go to try to satisfy that boredom or that frustration. We try to feel better with food.
Right.
So it's trying to heal an emotional thing by eating. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
eat something that tastes really good. It's really, really rich and yummy, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm in control because I can control the way I feel by eating this, right? But it's a very
Right.
short-term way to control your joy.
Mm-hmm.
And you get full in half an hour or an hour, and then you can't control your joy that way anymore.
Right.
So it's a really unsuccessful plan for really trying to be happy in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
um, I think my the way my process has worked out with it is, when I first hopped on the vegan train 2 years ago, I basically had a smoothie and it just kind of snowballed effect into mainly eating raw vegetables, salads, all the greenery I could get my hands on. And then for the first 6 months, I felt really, really good, probably the best I've ever felt. And then I had a significant decline in my energy. And I felt like it was hard even doing just daily tasks or things like that. And so as that progressed, that's why I kind of just hopped off of that back to not really caring what I ate and
yeah.
like binge
Well, so this
eating
is
and
one thing that
craving.
happens when we
So,
start to get into a vegan lifestyle, when we start eating the live raw foods, we start to pick up the energy because live raw foods are still alive. They contain energy, they
mm-hmm.
contain enzymes, and they contain distilled waters. And when we start to flush our body with distilled waters, the body starts to detoxify.
Right.
So it's the distilled waters, it's the energy of live food, it's the enzymes, right? It's the fiber that helps your body to eliminate waste. So,
Mm-hmm.
the body starts to detoxify waste, elements start to go, that waste starts to be entered into the bloodstream, and the body can start to feel low energy because you're starting to detoxify.
Okay.
So as we start to move into detoxification, because we've reduced the food and gone to the higher energy foods, detoxification starts to happen. So we start to feel low energy, maybe low body temperature, maybe we're tired. This is how the body wants to begin a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we have to go through a little bit of a healing process, and that could be a few days where we may need to lay down. We may need to take a nap. We may need to take a rest.
Okay.
And we have to understand that that's not really an indication that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually an indication that the natural healing is starting to happen, that the shadow energy, the low frequency stuff, emotional stuff, psychological stuff could be coming up.
Right. Well, and I think,
Chemicals could be coming up. Yes.
yeah, I think that's definitely reflected in why I stopped too. It almost just became too much. So
Yeah.
I'm
So you
looking.
could be trying to go too fast, maybe.
Well, I was, yeah. I'm looking to reintegrate what I've learned now in a healthier manner. Hence why I'm reaching out for help.
Awesome. Awesome. So if we can get into some sort of a way that we could work back and forth with you on this so that we could, establish some sort of system or method that creates success for you in the long
Yeah.
run, right? Because
Mhm.
what you really need to do is you really need to build like a habit,
Yeah.
a healthy habit. You need a healthy routine, right?
Mhm.
And this is it. Is that the best way to overcome sickness, illness, disease, addiction, a bad habit? The best way to overcome a bad habit is to start a new healthy one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to start a healthy new habit that is physical, mental, and emotional.
Mhm.
Because you are physical, mental, and emotional.
Yeah.
So you can't just do an exercise habit or just do a nutrition habit because that's all physical stuff. If you only do that, you're only really taking care of a part of you.
Mhm.
But the mental and emotional stuff isn't being corrected that way.
Right.
That stuff's going to come up and need to be dealt with too. So you got to have some way of like changing or inspiring my thought daily or weekly.
Mhm.
I've got to have some way of inspiring my emotions to come up because everybody has shadow emotions.
Mhm.
Everyone has lack or limited beliefs that block them from moving forward.
Yeah.
Everyone has boundaries and blocks that hold them, that are keeping them trapped in the place that they are. We all do. That
Mhm.
doesn't make you a bad person because you've got some lack or limitation in your mind or in your body or in your habit or in your life. Like everyone's got darker bits to themselves, parts that they need to work on.
Yeah.
And when you start lifting yourself up physically with exercise and lifting yourself up physically with nutrition, sometimes associated low energy thoughts will come up and low energy emotions will come up because you're picking up your energy physically. This mental and emotional stuff will come up too.
Mhm.
And sometimes the mental stuff can bring you down, or
Right.
sometimes the emotional stuff can bring you down.
Mhm.
So, you've really got to take a real kind of holistic approach to your health and well-being if you really want to be successful with it in the long run. So I encourage people to get into a habit, into a system, into a method, into some way of doing a practice daily that's really working on my physical, my mental, and my emotional health. And I'm contributing to that and moving towards that every single day. So that's an intention, that's a
Mhm.
choice, that's a decision. I want to be my best. Right? So then we got to
Yeah.
talk about, what is my best? And to start
Okay.
talking about who I want to be. Who do I want to be personally for me? Who do I want to be, for my boyfriend, my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, my friends, my relationships, career wise. We already kind of talked a little bit about where you might want to go with this as a career. Your finances, how you got to have a vision in your mind of who you want that person to be. And then you got to take action steps towards creating that person. And here's a great
Got it.
action step. I want to be, a yoga instructor potentially. I want to be healthy. I want to teach people healthy, natural, energetic movements and thoughts and words and emotional health. I want to help people be well and healthy. And the
Mhm.
best way to do that is to model it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've been struggling with.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, what the Buddha talked about, two things. He said, learn the information. And then the second part is practice it.
Mhm.
We need to have a daily practice.
Yeah, see, that's my biggest obstacle is the inconsistency because I'm wavering back and forth between, having it all and then having nothing and then having it all and having nothing. And so hence
Very
like trying to
normal.
reintegrate that in a good beneficial manner that I can sustain.
Sustainability.
Hmm.
We want to get into something we can keep going with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sustainability is a big one. It's got to be something we can keep it up long term.
Hmm.
So, one thing about sustainability, you got to love it.
Right.
So if you like natural health, if you love natural health and you want to be natural and you want to be healthy, it's a great goal to get into alignment with. But, we're going to have to break some of the old bad habits.
Hmm.
And that means creating new habits, means creating new boundaries for myself
Yeah.
and living within the new boundaries. That's self-discipline.
Hmm.
I need to cultivate self-discipline so that I'm not on and off, on and off. It's
Yeah.
discipline that keeps me going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it's getting into a flow with an energy that's within me that's on and on and on and on that keeps me going forever and ever and ever, right?
Hmm.
Got to get into alignment with my energy. That's my emotional body. That's my spirit body. Got to get into alignment with that. That's always in the present. I got to get present.
Hmm.
And I got to be clear about where I want to go and how I'm going to get there. Where do I want to go? What do I got to do to get there? I want to get to my best self. I want to be my best to myself personally. I want to speak about myself the best. I want to think about myself the best that I can. I want to love me. I want to
Hmm.
be in flow with my loving energy so that when I'm with my wife, if I'm in my flow of loving energy, then I'm going to be most loving with her.
Right.
And I'm going to be the most loving that I can be with my kids and as patient as I can be with my kids because I'm filled up with my love.
Hmm.
I'm going to be the most influential person that I can be with my clients or with anyone that I'm speaking to. I want to be the most influential person in their day. Well, how do I do that? Well, I do that by walking the walk, doing the work myself, doing the physical, mental, and emotional stuff that puts me in the driver's seat in my best place so that, when I'm with my daughter or my son or my wife or my client, that I'm in my very best place to be with them.
Hmm.
That's a habit. That's a behavior. That's a getting up in the morning and thinking about it first thing and intending it, visualizing it, thinking about the type of energy I want to have, speaking about the type of energy I want to have. So that's thoughts and words about who I want to be. That's thinking about what I want, not about the problem. That's thinking about what I want
Yeah.
to create today, right?
Yep.
That's an intention. That's a vision.
Hmm.
That's a decision. That's a choice to think about that. Those are
Hmm.
the thoughts and the words that I start to say. It's the thinking about my workout today. That's my physical workout. It's a thinking about my food. My food is a physical aspect of my life. It's thinking about what I'm going to eat today, live raw foods or emptiness. Fasting daily is a great discipline to get into.
Okay.
I recommend all of my customers to fast 14 to 16 hours a day, every day, anyways. Practice being empty. We've been practicing eating 3, 4, 5 times a day for 10, 20, 30 years, right? Like,
Hmm.
how many times have we gone without food in our lives?
Right.
Not very many. We've eaten almost every single day of our lives. I mean, how many days have you had empty? You can count them on your hands and feet, right? The number of
Yeah.
days that I've been empty.
Hmm.
So I always tell people that anything that you do all of the time, you want to challenge the things that you're doing all of the time. If you want something different, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
If I've been eating every single day of my life, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals a day, It's a wonderful practice to practice not eating a little bit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people there's 24 hours in a day. Let's say if you've been eating from 9 o'clock in the morning until 7 p.m. in the night, you've been eating 10 hours of the day, 10 or 12 hours of the day you're eating. You've been doing that for years. How about going the other way where we try to, instead of eating from 9 in the morning until 8 or 9 in the night, how about we shrink that eating window down to like 8, 6, 4, 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
So we're spending more time empty. If I ate my dinner at, say, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, say I ate my dinner 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, this is the later I ate my dinner. The earlier I can eat my dinner, the more emptiness I have before bedtime.
Okay.
And then I sleep all night, and then I get up in the morning, and I could eat at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12. And the later in the day that I eat my breakfast, they always told us that breakfast was the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
If we can get that emptiness to carry through the morning,
Mm-hmm.
because in the morning, that's when the body's really processing.
Right.
It's when the body's coming to life. We don't want to make it digest at that time. That's a lot of work on the body. Don't do that. Let the
Mm-hmm.
body process and get ready for the day. Come as late as you can in the day with your breakfast. If you can have your breakfast, a little later in your day, and you eat your dinner as early as you can, right? That's eating in a small window.
Yeah.
That's what we call eating in a small window. We
Mm-hmm.
want to try to get that eating window as small as we can, so that if you're eating in 2 to 4 hours or 6 hours, rather than 8 or 9 or 10 hours of an eating window. If we can shrink your eating window as small as we can, so that we can create as much empty time as we can each and every day. That's a daily fast. I encourage people to start shifting towards a lifestyle that's not so dependent on food. I call it unfooding.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is eating less food, practicing emptiness, and then choosing foods that have higher frequency or higher vibration foods. Those are our live foods.
Mm-hmm.
They're foods that capture the energy of the sun, and it's not denatured. It's not made unnatural by cooking or processing of any kind. I'm just getting the live, natural energy of nature, of the sun. The distilled water, the fruits and vegetables are the high energy healing foods that will pick up your frequency physically. The emptiness is a practice, is a daily practice. Because when you sit in emptiness, you're sitting with your desire to do something. And that sitting in desire is a practice that we all need to work on. When you're sitting in desire to eat and your body's telling you, go grab some chips, go get some pizza, we have to learn how to manage these things coming into our heads.
Yeah. I feel like I've been using food as a way to suppress this anxiety I have about stepping into the next phase of my life, or actually embodying becoming the person that I wish to be. And so the more that I resist that, the worse the food gets, the cravings and all that mess.
So
So
there's an emotional anxiety that's attached to moving forward with your life. It's scary.
mhm.
It's
Well,
always the scary bit.
yeah, I mean, um it's also, I think, to do with an aspect of self-love too. The more I'm learning to love myself, you know, I don't know. I think you get what I'm saying.
Is a huge bit about self-love is a massive aspect of this.
Mhm.
Because we are love in our
Mhm.
nature.
Right.
We are love in our nature. So that is what we are. But we've got all these thoughts in our head, kind of a little bit of a programming of who we've been told to be, or what is supposed to be good, or what is supposed to be right. So we've got this programming in our heads, thoughts like breakfast is the most important meal of the day, thoughts like I have to eat protein, or I have to eat animal protein, or that I need to drink milk, thoughts that I love chips, or I love pizza, or I love ice cream, or I love cake, or I love bread, or I love wine, or I love coffee. All of these things are programs, things that we've accepted, habits and behaviors that we've put into our mind that we've learned.
Mhm.
So we have to unlearn these programs to come back to loving the still nature that is actually within us, because the nature of us is love. If we
Mhm.
could just be with our nature, we would love ourselves. But we can't be with our nature because we have to have a coffee, get some chips, have a glass of wine, eat some bread, eat some pizza, or whatever. As soon as we put that stuff into our body, our physiology is affected.
Mhm.
Our brain neurotransmitters are affected. The things we think and say are affected by the foods that we eat, the things that we drink, the things that we smoke, the things that we taste, lick, smell, sniff. Fill in the blank. We're all being led by stuff outside of ourselves. Financial pressures, relationship pressures, roles, stresses, physical things that are really of mind, thoughts, ideas. I've got to get up and do this. I've got to go pay these bills. I've got to go to work. I've got to get this done. I've got to do this. I've got to get my daughter here. I've got to get my son there. I've got to do this for my mom or my husband or my wife. I mean, this is the stuff we get in our heads that separates us from the nature.
Right.
We need to come back to our nature. Our nature is love.
Mhm.
We need to be with that natural bit. This natural bit of us is our spirit self, or our essence. That natural bit of us is always present. We need to come to be present with it.
Mhm.
And we come into the loving bit of us by sitting in presence. Well, how do we be more conscious and be more present? I encourage people to focus on your breath. If you can watch your breath, watch your inhale and your exhale. Each breath is a moment. Each breath is a moment. So
Mhm.
I want to bring you to the present moment by having you watch your breath while you're working on your physical practice, your mental practice, and your emotional practice is being present while you're working on your physical and your mental practice. So an affirmation like, I am love. I am power. I have the power to change me and my life. I can create a new, different life for myself. I
Mhm.
can heal my life. I can get into shape. I can change my life. I can be strong. I can think those things and say those things, affirmations. I am the power. And then I can think about them and I can breathe as I think about them. I can begin to imagine those things.
Mm-hmm.
I can use my creative energy, my imagination to picture the things that I'm thinking and saying. I am the power. How would you feel if I was in charge of your health? If you were in charge of your own health, how would you feel? How would you feel if you were in charge of your nutrition?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if you were a successful yoga instructor and you were helping people change their lives? How would that make you feel?
Amazing. Fulfilled, content.
So you want to try, okay, fulfillment, imagine it. So if you're not feeling it right now, how would I feel? Imagine fulfilled. Oh, use your creative mind. Use your feminine mind to imagine fulfillment. You've got to strengthen your imagination. You've got to practice your imagination to think about that person who you want to be. And then you've got to imagine it and feel, what would it feel like? That's the emotional bit. What would it feel like if I was, that's getting into the vibration. The feeling is the vibration. If I want to up my feelings, I want to up my vibrations, I need to up
Mm-hmm.
my thoughts, my words, and my imagination, my feeling, my presence. I need to stay with it, imagine it, and breathe. And be with that imagination. Sit with that imagination. Feel that imagination. That's being present with it.
Mm-hmm.
You've created the thoughts and the words. You've come to the thoughts and words about it. And then you're actually imagining it, feeling the vibration within you. So there's a physical practice, exercise and nutrition change, unfooding, fooding and unfooding, fasting and refeeding with high energy foods. There's exercise, there's movement, that's physical practice. That gets you breathing. That's oxygenation, that's alkalization of your body. There's a physical practice, it's movement, exercise, and it's nutrition, unfooding.
Mm-hmm.
Fasting and refeeding with the proper foods. Then there's a mental aspect to it, an intention. I'm going for my best. I'm thinking and speaking about what it is to be my best.
Yeah.
Thinking and speaking about it, thoughts and words. That's mindset, mental. And then there's an emotional bit, that's being present. I've got to sit with it, meditate on it, be with it, breathe in it while I'm practicing, while we're exercising. I'm going to cue you to come to the present. I'm going to help you to stay in the present. Okay, so this program, this, my detoxification program, I've got my free detoxification program. We go 7 days. You're trying to fast daily.
Okay.
You're practicing fasting. That's a physical practice. You're exercising with me daily. You tune in online. You can tune in with me online, or you could do your exercise on your own, just doing your yoga or going for your own walks. If you'd like to get more accountable, you can tune in to work out with me online. So we could do the physical online, or you can do the physical part yourself, and we could just tune in like this each week to just check in and talk.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some accountability. I'm going to give you some daily information so that I'm encouraging the right thoughts and words for you. But you got to open up those emails and look at the videos and listen to the stuff. Like, the only way that you're going to change your life is if you start thinking and saying and doing different things.
Right.
Right? If you want to develop new habits, you got to start thinking and saying and doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I send you emails daily, I can't make you open them and read them, but I say, listen, most of the time you got to do the right thing. I say there's 7 days in a week. You don't need to be perfect. I don't need you to be perfect, but I need you to be more perfect than imperfect, if that makes sense, right? You
Yeah.
got to tip the balance, the scale in your favor of success. So you got to do the right thing most of the time. So if there's 7 days in a week, I need you to show up to work out with me 4 days of the week, or go for a walk, or do your yoga practice 4 days of the week, and tune in with me 2 times and do yoga 2 times, and go for a walk 2 times. That would be great. Something like that. Where you're active more days than not. 4 days is the tipping point. Where you're doing the right things with your food more days than not. 4 days is the tipping point. I encourage my customers, listen, let's go for a 3, 4 day, 5 day period where you're eating just raw foods, or you're just eating fruits. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Can you go Monday to Friday eating mostly raw foods? Can you
Yeah.
do smoothies and juices and fruits and vegetables and salads, mostly live foods Monday to Friday? Relax on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, relax. If you need to have some pizza, or you need to have a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, I'm not sure what your thing is. If you need to have a hot dog or a piece of cake, whatever it is, that's normal. Relax on the weekend, but then pick up your boundary again on Monday and say, like, I have to get into a habit. I got to get into a routine. I got to build a daily habit of most of the time doing the right thing. Most of the time doing the right things physically, emotionally, and mentally. So opening up the emails, looking at the content I'm putting out to you most of the time. Stuff's coming every day. Watching and listening to it. It's building a habit. Getting out for your walk, getting out for your yoga, showing up online for your workouts, doing the physical stuff, working on your breathing, working on your meditation, making yourself accountable. That's when you start saying it to someone. It's when you say to me, John, I want to try to get in better shape. I want to create more self-discipline. I want to build a routine. I want to build a habit. You say it. It's a goal. It's a goal in your mind. You say it. And then now I can hold you accountable to it. That's what a coach does.
Right. Okay.
Right? I can say, okay, so we got a plan. I've given you sketched out some ideas to you here, right? You've got a plan. We're going to go on a 7-day mission. Next Monday, I want you to try to go for 24 hours without food. Let's try and fast 14 to 16 hours a day. Every Monday, let's try to go for a lengthier fast, 24 hours without food. No food Mondays, I call it. Let's try and stretch ourselves a little bit more once a week. 1 day of the week, I'm going to practice a lengthier fast. Whatever I practice, I'll get better at. If I practice eating cake, I'll get better at it.
Right. Yeah.
If I practice eating chips, I'll get better at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's what I've been practicing, I'm just going to get better and better and better at it. What am I practicing? I need to practice the right things physically, mentally, and emotionally daily. I need to develop a practice. As I practice it, I'll get better and better at it. It's getting into a flow, a natural flow, because there is a natural health. There is a nature. There's a natural energy. We can fall into that flow. We can get into it. It's our highest energy. It's our highest frequency. We have to come to our highest energy and frequency. We can do that with physical things that raise up our energy, foods, movements, breath work. We can do that because we can think about things and talk about things that lift up our spirits. I am the power. I am changing my life. Thoughts and words that inspire us. And then there's that emotional bit where I'm sitting in presence daily and powering myself up with the loving energy that's within me and around me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how the program works.
Okay. So when doing the detoxification program, is it more suggestions, or is it like a planned out
if you're talking about my free 7-day detox, I mean, I've got my free 7-day detox. It's an introduction to, unfooding. It's an introduction to an extended fast, trying to go for 24 hours. Detoxification is the elimination of waste from your body. And, a 7-day detox is a wonderful introduction to detoxification. My free 7-day detox is a great way for you to be introduced to live raw foods.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to introduce you to eating more raw foods, trying to do that for a few days, 3 or 4 or 5 days, or maybe just eating one processed meal a day and eating the other meals, juices or fruits and vegetables or smoothies,
Mm-hmm.
but doing it with natural raw foods. A 7-day detox is a great introduction, a detoxification. But detoxification probably is going to take you more than 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an introduction. But you learn a system of detoxifying your body. Detoxifying your body by taking in high energetic foods, exercising, breathing, detoxifying your thoughts and your words, practicing new thoughts and words,
Mm-hmm.
and practicing the emotional things, staying present to lift up your energy. The whole process is detoxification. The whole process is natural healing. Natural healing is detoxification. Healing and natural healing is loving yourself. It's coming into the loving energy, the health that is within you.
Mm-hmm.
Health is within you. Love is within you. Your power is within you. Your life force power is within you. Detoxification is getting closer to that energy within you. It's connecting to it. It's empowering you, right? The whole process is detoxification. It's very healing. It'll help you lose weight. It'll help you tone up. It'll help you energize. It'll help you heal any sickness, illness, or disease. It'll get you more loving, so your relationships will all improve.
Mm-hmm.
Your career will be better. You'll be more functional and successful in every aspect of your life. It'll flow through you. The energy of your inner bits will come out of you in all ways.
Okay.
Just getting you to shine your light more.
Mm-hmm. So, do you offer long-term nutrition programs then, or?
Yes, I mean, if you'd like, I like to encourage people to get started with a 90-day program.
Okay.
Could we work together for 3 months? Could we work together for 12 weeks? We could talk each week. We could set goals for each week. We could make changes each week. You could tune in daily for your exercise. You could step on the scale weekly and report that to me. You could track your food so I can watch what you're doing and hold you accountable there. And then we can talk each week about what you did and what actually happened on the scale, or how you felt, or what happened emotionally, or what happened energetically. And we can make changes and recommendations for the next week. And we can talk about what we're going to do and change for the next week. And I can hold you accountable that way. And if you show up for your workouts online, then I can see what you're doing. And I can also observe how you're improving with your strength and length in your body.
Okay. So for the online workouts then, is that tailored to the individual, or is it just kind of following along with whatever you're doing already?
I have a daily skeleton workout that I'm working with. I'm not into big heavy weights. I don't believe you need to have a lot of big heavy weights. I believe you can do it with light weights and repetitions and focus and intensity and awareness and breath. I mean, people do yoga without lifting any weight and they get into wonderful shape. And people have been doing yoga for thousands of years and keeping themselves fit and well. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of equipment to do it. A lot of people play tennis and get into shape. A lot of people do marathons and get into shape. A lot of people swim. So, it doesn't matter. You just need to have a daily practice, a ritual, some sort of self-discipline.
Okay.
Just need a routine, right? So I have an exercise routine that I teach to my customers. If you'd like to tune in and do it daily, I'm speaking to you daily. I'm encouraging you daily. I'm giving you the thoughts and words daily. I'm cueing you to get to your breath and focus on these things daily. If you want to check in with me daily, you could do that. And then we can also get on a call like this online once a week and do a little follow-up about how the week went and talk about what we need to do for the next week, right? That's how we continue to make sure that we keep moving forward to keep you moving towards your best. And if things come up along the way, challenges always do tend to come up. It's always, it's beneficial if you've got someone that's going to be in your corner for the next 90 days. That's my 90-day startup program, my 12-week body transformation, my high vibe lifestyle, I call it.
Okay. So how does it usually work when you're with people and they're initially going through the detoxification process and working out at the same time? Is that
right? So the workout is not a workout that's like an annihilation workout. I teach people
right.
to work in rather than working out, right? I think
Okay.
that's a big important factor. Like, I mean, it's not to try and destroy your body with these workouts. The workout has to stimulate you mentally, physically, and emotionally, stimulate you for the day, center you, balance you, bring you into your power, right? This workout time that we have daily needs to have you into your discipline. It is your daily discipline. It is your practice, right?
Okay.
This is like your physical practice, or this is an aspect of it. Maybe you only want to tune in twice a week and you want to do your yoga twice a week and you want to go for a walk twice a week. Maybe you want to tune in once a week and you want to do your own thing, or maybe you just want to do your own physical thing and you just want to connect like this for online calls. Everyone's different, and sometimes you need this at the very beginning for the first 30 days, and then after 60, 90 days, you start doing it on your own. Or maybe for the first 90 days, you need that support, and then you'll be off to the races and doing it on your own. You need to develop a self-discipline, a daily practice. I'm not sure how long it's going to take you to really get into a habit. They say a habit takes 21 days. I tell people, let's try that 3-4 times over. In a 90-day, we'll develop that habit and we'll rehearse it, we'll reprogram it into the subconscious mind that way. And I'll be there alongside you to support you along the way.
Okay. I had another question. I lost it. I might come back to it in a second here.
So does that sound like something you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. The one thing in the back of my mind is my long-term body goals, not to be superficial, but that's something that I have been focused on recently, and so I'm just trying to see how that would pan out. But
what's your long-term body goals?
well, I'd like to gain some weight in my lower body and strength, just overall. I think the accountability would help. I'm a person who, like I said, is all or nothing, so I would just have to develop trust in the process so that I can maintain that. So I think the question that I forgot is probably irrelevant anyways. But so I'm still a little confused about how the workout program is so it's general. It's just kind of general then, and we're just like tuning in with you. It's not personalized.
Personalized.
I'm thinking of like weightlifting, where you have like a set program, and
Yeah,
that's
like I say, it's probably not the weightlifting that you have in mind. It's probably
okay.
not the idea that you have of weightlifting. It's not definitely not going to be as heavy or as aggressive as maybe what you're thinking.
Okay.
Think of it more like a body weight yoga type of program, more so than then a weightlifting program might be a better idea. It's a functional, full body strengthening, core focused program, strengthening and
Okay.
lengthening. But you don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a lot of weight. You don't need a lot of time. It's not about weight. It's not about reps. It's not about calories. It's not about protein. It's not about exercises. People get into shape playing yoga, doing yoga, and some people get into shape playing tennis. So it's not about the exercise. It's about being in the right place mentally and emotionally while you exercise. It's about being in the right place mentally and emotionally throughout the rest of your day, because the exercise is only 30 minutes of your day. 23 and a half hours other than that is when you're screwing up. Let's put it that
Right.
way. It's
Okay.
not so much the exercise that you have to be afraid of, that it's the wrong type of exercise. Is
Mm-hmm.
it's more that I need to get the right frame of mind and energy from that 30-minute period to be most functional and effective throughout the rest of my day, so that I'm in my natural flow, my most natural, highest energy, my highest frequency throughout my day. That's engaging with my day, engaging with my life in a different way.
Okay.
That's the shift that changes your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not the 30-minute shift, but the 23 and a half hour energetic shift after, where I'm in a different frame of mind to manage the rest of my day and my life.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for explaining all of that to me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested, and I do think it would be really beneficial for me. It's different than what anyone else is offering, and it aligns with my belief system and all of that, you know. Um, I've talked to a few trainers this week, and they've all been reinforcing the whole toxicity of get your protein and this and that and the other,
Mm-hmm.
heavy weightlifting. So I'll just have to think about it, really. I'll have to think about it. But it is
Sure.
something
Yeah.
I'm interested in. And if I don't do it now, I would like to
Yeah.
do it soon.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. That's it. Think about it. I mean, I was a personal trainer talking about the protein thing for a long time myself. I told people for a long time to eat protein,
mm-hmm.
and I ate protein, for a very long time. For 25 years, I lived mostly on protein. I was an international level bodybuilder, so I know what happens over time with that protein thing.
Mm-hmm.
Protein is, when we digest protein, it creates amino acids, and
Mm-hmm.
it also creates a uric acid. And so when our diet is focused on protein, which is a very, broken mainstream idea, a very popular approach to managing health is, eating proteins and fats, the keto diet. I mean, I lived that way for many, many, many years. What happens over time of eating that protein is there starts to become a toxicity in the body, and then it starts to, gain weight, feel pain, aches and pains start to happen in the body. And you don't notice it when you're 20, you notice it when you're 40. You notice it when you're over 40,
Mm-hmm.
So you don't notice it now, and you think everything's well and good at 20 and 25 and 30, and even at 35, some people are getting away with it. And then, at 40 and 45 and 50, they start to go, oh, geez, why have I got this aches and pains in my body? And they think it's old age. Really, it's that you've put a bunch of acids into your body for a long period of time. And it unfortunately we don't realize until I'm almost 50 now that you can look back at it and you go, oh my gosh, when I stopped doing that protein crazy idea, that I recognized that the pain and the healing started to happen within my body. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the approach that they learn in school. I learned it in kinesiology myself. My background's in kinesiology, my background's in psychology. I learned all that stuff, but just I've been at it for 30 years. So because of that, I've seen the natural truth as well too, and recognized that the way to really truly heal your body for good is to do it naturally, and to do it with raw foods and emptiness, and connect to an infinite loving source of energy that's within you, right? Rather than trying to get something from a protein powder or a vitamin or a mineral or some sort of food that's magical that's outside of you that's going to make you healthy. Actually, we don't need to get health from outside of ourselves. Actually, health is something that is within us. We need to actually come back to the natural health that's within us. We need to find it. It's a change of mind, it's a change of emotion, and it's a change of action. All right?
All right.
So I've given you some things to think about.
Yes, plenty.
All right. So hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Patty.
much. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.